The U.S. faces an energy crisis as Canada redirects its resources. Who will fill the void? When the United States suddenly loses its critical energy supply from Canada, who will step in to replace it? Europe and Asia have swiftly moved to capitalize on the shift. Canada has inked billion-dollar agreements to supply oil, gas, and electricity to nations desperate for stable energy sources, especially Europe, which is scrambling to replace Russian supplies. Meanwhile, China and India have secured long-term deals to fuel their rapidly expanding economies. Canada's export ports and pipeline systems, once primarily directed toward North America, are now pivoting to Asia and Europe. This seismic shift not only delivers a massive shock to the U.S., but also fundamentally alters the global energy balance. The U.S. now confronts a dual threat: an escalating energy crisis and a weakened strategic position in the international energy competition. With the loss of Canada's hydroelectric supply, states like New York, California, and Michigan face the looming risk of rolling blackouts, particularly during the harsh winter months. Electricity prices have skyrocketed, and some regions are even contemplating peak-hour usage restrictions to prevent grid overloads. Major industries, automobile manufacturing, steel production, and food processing are slashing output due to soaring energy costs. This not only hammers the economy, but also jeopardizes tens of thousands of jobs, especially in energy-dependent sectors. Many businesses are seeing severe profit declines, with some forced to shutter production facilities entirely. An energy winter descends on America. This crisis is forcing Americans to grapple with profound changes in their daily lives, from skyrocketing prices to shrinking job opportunities. As the energy winter approaches, the cost of gas, oil, electricity, airline tickets, and everyday goods has surged. Families and businesses are bearing the brunt of unprecedented inflation, with everything becoming more expensive than ever before. The electricity and fuel systems, once reliant on Canada's steady supply, are now paralyzed, rendering Washington's response efforts largely ineffective. These events are thrusting the U.S. economy into uncharted territory, and it's difficult to predict what comes next. How many options does the U.S. have left to address this crisis? Can Washington avert an energy disaster before it spirals into a full-blown economic collapse? Canada strikes back, Mark Carney's bold counterattack. Canada isn't taking this lying down. Prime Minister Mark Carney is channeling tariff revenue from the U.S. to shield Canadian workers and businesses from the fallout of President Donald Trump's policies. But will this strategy prove robust enough to reshape the regional economic landscape? Upon taking office, Carney wasted no time implementing sweeping changes. He signed a new defense pact with Australia, bolstering Canada's capacity to counter global threats, particularly from the U.S. Simultaneously, he launched trade negotiations with the European Union to reduce Canada's dependence on the American market, a calculated move amid escalating trade tensions. This isn't merely an economic pivot, it's a bold step toward forging stronger international partnerships to resist U.S. impositions. Carney's vision extends beyond short-term survival. He's working to secure a sustainable, independent future for Canada. He abolished the carbon tax, a burden on farmers and small businesses amid economic instability, and slashed income taxes for low-income families, allowing each household to retain an additional $825 annually. These concrete measures aim to ease financial strain as the economy falters. But what stands out most is Carney's fierce public opposition to Trump's tariff policy. "Trump wants to divide us to dominate us, but we will not bow down," he declared. "Canada controls its own destiny." Emphasizing unity with the slogan, "We are stronger when united," Carney has directed all U.S. tariff revenue to support Canadian workers and businesses battered by Trump's decisions. This isn't just a defensive stance, it's a long-term plan to ensure economic stability by investing in domestic development projects. A comprehensive vision for Canada's future. Carney's approach is multifaceted, designed not only to mitigate immediate harm, but also to fortify Canada's resilience for years to come. While Trump slashes international aid and sows division, Carney takes the opposite tack. He has expanded the dental care program to cover nearly 5 million Canadians, a robust social policy targeting low-income families. He's also committed to maintaining international aid, arguing that global solidarity is key to national security. This stance not only strengthens Canada's ties with other nations, but also cements its standing in the international community. Going further, Carney announced the elimination of all domestic trade barriers by Canada Day on July 1st. This strategy aims to forge a unified economic federation, erasing provincial divides and fostering an environment ripe for growth. He's also pledged investments in ambitious projects, building millions of homes, advancing clean energy, and tapping into strategic mineral resources. These initiatives lay the groundwork for Canada to protect itself while steering toward a sustainable future. Carney's political gambit, early elections. Carney didn't stop at reactive measures. He called for early elections on April 28th, a move designed not only to rally Canadian support, but also to secure a strong mandate to confront the challenges posed by Trump's policies. By doing so, Carney reaffirms his commitment to safeguarding national sovereignty and interests, a strategic play to build a solid foundation for long-term reforms and effectively counter U.S. aggression. We can't control the U.S. president, but we can control our own destiny, he emphasized. Can Canada maintain unity and thrive under Carney's leadership? The answer will shape its next steps and the new opportunities for its economy. Meanwhile, a cultural shockwave hits the U.S. Within just 24 hours, a late-night comedy segment racked up over 5 million views, setting social media ablaze from Twitter to TikTok to YouTube. The man behind it? Bill Maher, who unleashed a blistering series of punchlines targeting the Trump family and Laura Loomer. But it wasn't just the laughs that captured attention. It was the social shockwave that followed. It all began with Maher reading a list titled 22 Rules for Dating, found inside a used car, allegedly penned by the owner's ex-girlfriend. The rules, intense directives like never save any girl's number, reply to texts within 10 minutes, and never complain about anything she does, sounded like a relationship contract drafted by a drill sergeant. The list sparked heated online debates for 2 full weeks. But Maher didn't stop there. He twisted the narrative, comparing the list to unwritten rules Melania Trump might impose on her husband. You are not to leave your girdle on the bathroom floor. You are not allowed to eat Wendy's in bed. And you are not to mention the bridal catalog's return policy. According to Maher, Melania isn't just a wife. She's a symbol of detachment, coldness, and a complete lack of personal identity. He painted her as trapped in an invisible hostage situation, a phrase that exploded across platforms, shared over 1.3 million times in 48 hours. Then came Laura Loomer, former congressional candidate and ardent Trump supporter. In Maher's words, a dozen Republican candidates tried to stop Trump and couldn't. Hillary couldn't. Never Trumpers couldn't. Mueller couldn't. Is there anyone left who can check Donald Trump? Yes, Melania. He argued it's not anti-feminist to say women wield the power of the ultimatum, forcing men to change destructive behavior through threats of leaving, humiliation, or cutting them off in bed. It's a tale as old as time, he quipped. The joke ignited serious discussions about political loyalty, identity worship, and the blurred lines between politics and personality cults in today's America. Trump's Achilles heel. He can't take a joke. Maher struck a final nerve. Trump's inability to laugh at himself. Melania, the world needs you, he pleaded. President Hellboy has proved impervious to facts, reason, shame, and the law, but maybe if you left him for another man, especially if that man was Mexican, that might do it. It was the tipping point. Maher didn't just joke, he dissected the media cycle. Joke, outrage, viral sharing, mockery, repeat. Social Blade reports the segment garnered over 27 million views across YouTube, TikTok, and beyond, sparking 2,300 response videos and nearly 9,000 memes within days. The internet piled on. Melania's stoic expression was photoshopped into Mona Lisa portraits, ancient statues, even IKEA ads. Trump, as Maher predicted, couldn't resist. He posted 3 separate rants on Truth Social, feeding the cycle and amplifying the joke. When Maher closed with, "I don't create the absurdity, I just expose it," viewers knew this wasn't just comedy. It was biting social commentary cloaked in humor, brutally honest and painfully accurate. Stay tuned. A global power shift unfolds. The US, Europe, and Canada redraw the economic map. Hold on. There's much more to come, and the revelations ahead might just transform how you view the world. In 2024, Tesla lost 14% of its market share in Norway, one of the globe's most advanced electric vehicle markets. Meanwhile, the European Union issued a stern warning, promising a robust response to America's new tax policies. And in a stunning pivot, Canada began sourcing military equipment from Europe rather than the US. What's really brewing among these 3 powerhouses, the US, Europe, and Canada?